how to set up a 4-flap wing glider with a DX9 and 8 probably. The first thing you have to do is to put the servos in the right slots on the receiver. In number 1 and throttle you put left aileron. In number 2 aileron you put right aileron. In number 3 elevator you put elevator. In number 4 rudder you put rudder. In gear number 5 you put right flap. In AUX 1 number 6 you put left flap. And if you want a motor, it must be in AUX 2. The first thing you go is to go to trim setup. Then you change that from common to F mode. Spoiler, elevator, rudder and elevator to F mode, all of them, and go back. The next thing, you go to flight mode, setup, F mode, setup. Then you switch B and set them to B 1, 2 and 3. My philosophy is to keep it simple, so I only have 3 flight modes: normal, cruise, speed and thermal setting. Next. Then I push the flight mode switch forward to speed. And change that to speed. Put it in the middle and change that to cruise and pull it back and change that to thermal. The next thing is to spoken flight modes. Then you put it forward and change that to speed and set the switch in the middle and change speed to cruise. And pull it back and change it to thermal.
Thermal mode. Thermal mode.
Then we go to sailplane type and change the wing to 2 aileron and 2 flap. And if you want a motor, you can set it here from some inhibit to the switch you want. And this is where you can change the picture of what you want. Then you go to servo setup.
Thermal mode.
Servo setup. Travel. We go to sub trim. This is where you set the servos in neutral. This is left aileron. And here I can, if you see the left aileron, here I can adjust the neutral point. Travel, reverse. This is where you set the servo direction in the right direction. Travel, left aileron. Then I push the stick to the left And then here I can adjust how much I want it to give. And then to the other side. I just let it set on 100. Then I go to Camber System.
Cruise mode.
Input throttle stick. This is here I adjust the flaps and the crow brake. Now I put the stick backwards and flaps down. Here I can adjust the flaps, how much I want it to go down. And aileron. And when I don't want it to go further up than when using the aileron that's going down must go down to neutral. Then there's plenty of aileron control. And then I push the flight mode switch forward.
Speed mode.
Here I must do the same settings for the flaps. In that way I will still have
cruise mode. Thermal mode.
In that way I will still have flaps and crow brake in all the flight modes. You will not want to fly low and slow in thermal mode and land fast and don't have crow brakes. I want that in all my flight modes. So set them in all
cruise mode,
all three
mode,
flight modes.
Cruise mode, thermal mode, cruise mode.
Then we go to camber setting, Camber Preset. Then I push the flight mode switch forward.
Speed mode.
And this is where I can adjust here is the ailerons up in the speed mode. I want them to go a bit up.
Speed mode, cruise mode, speed mode.
And also the flaps. And you can adjust the flaps individually.
Cruise mode.
And here in the elevator you can make a elevator compensation.
Cruise mode, thermal mode, cruise mode, speed mode, thermal mode, cruise mode, speed mode, cruise mode.
The thing we did with the trim setup was the first thing we do was to set it to flight mode. Now I have it in cruise, and now I try to trim the elevator. And you can see when I go down to thermal settings, the trim will go back to neutral.
Thermal mode.
So you have an individual trim in all the flight modes. Then we go to mix. Aileron to rudder. I don't use that. But you can set it here, set it to on, and adjust how much you want. Aileron to flaps. This is where you set the all span ailerons. And you can set it individually. So switch on. Elevator to flaps. This is the Snapflaps. Switch on, and when you pull up in the elevator, you can adjust the flaps. And the same with down. And the same with the ailerons. Flaps to elevator. This is where you adjust the elevator compensation when you use the flaps. And here you can adjust the curve. So if you want it to come a bit faster here, you adjust here. Sorry. Yeah. You can see the curve is changing, but play a bit with it. Then there is differential on, and this is where you adjust how much the aileron going down. If you not want it to go as far down as the one that's going up, here you can adjust that. If you set it to 100%, it will not go down, but this is too much, way too much. And the same you can do with flaps, all span aileron. And timer. I would like a stopwatch and switch. It's the trainer button. I push that. Active. Next. I don't want any sounds. Next. So this is what I use. Under the video I will write how much I usually will set the Snapflaps and the flight modes. Good luck.